Welcome to Chapter 1 homework video. This is where I am going to help you through some aspects of your Chapter 1 homework. I will be assisting you. Sorry, I'm clearing some files really quick. I'm going to be assisting you with setting up and doing some of your homework in these videos. Chapter 1 is not very involved. You're going to have a bunch of multiple choice, just more or less kind of a rehashing a little bit of what you've learned in your prior accounting courses, primarily your financial accounting courses. In fact, only your financial courses. Managerial accounting has nothing really to do with this course. There will be some possible aspects that we bring up, but not very many. Recap, here's our chapter, or our I guess you could say our chapter module. This here is our Chapter 1 module. If you click on that, it's going to give you and this is for all of them, it's going to give you a brief summary of what you're about to learn. And then you're going to have your assignments required. Is everything that's below here required? I need to indent that one more time. Okay, so it's like an outline. If it's under the required, all of these are required all the way down until I get to supplemental. When you get to choose one of the following two assignments, you only get to pick one or the other. You don't have to do both. But if you choose this, it'll give you some information here. Most of these do that. If you have an 89% at the end of the semester and you want me to bump it to a 90%, you have to give me an academic reason to do it. And so if you have done both of these assignments for every chapter can't be, if you miss even one, it's a no-go. Then I will consider bumping your grade. Other than that, I do not bump grades. But anyway, here's your ASC research. I've done a video for that you can watch. Problem assignment. Now there's two ways to access this. This is the easiest way. Just click here on this problem assignment right here, and then it'll automatically kick you there. Otherwise, if it doesn't, then there's that launch button that you can push, right? The other way, and I'm going to close this out so I can show you this way, is if you just click here on McGraw-Hill. I'm not showing you this in student view right now, but I'm going to do that in McGraw-Hill. That's why that picture never meant. I thought it was of my camera, but it was a video. Okay. Oh, sorry. Go back to the dashboard. Back to the dashboard. All right, student view. So here we are. These were your resources. If you've watched these already, here's your accounting standards codification actual assignment example that you could have, you can review and watch my video to do that. If you don't know McGraw-Hill, that's what you can look at here for those. Otherwise, we're here for Chapter 1, and we're looking for the problem assignment. Okay. I don't know what this is. Get rid of this. I wonder if you guys can see that. All right. Anyways, you're going to click that little arrow, click begin. It's going to bring you to the flash screen. If I have any instructions that I'm going to give you, it would probably be here. A word of note, prerequisite assignment. This is a prerequisite chain. You have to do this and score 80% in order to move on to take your quiz. All right. So you have to take this assignment before you can do the quiz. I've had some students do the quiz before, and before they do their homework assignment. It's weird. I don't even get it. Okay, so problem, you're gonna have a bunch of multiple choice, but in this, I don't go over the multiple choice. You guys can do that and figure it out. In fact, in this chapter, I only have one problem I'm gonna go over, and that's not even number 11, it's number 12. So number 11, all the ones before that, 1 through 10 are multiple choice. This one, you're going to go, it says list below are several terms and phrases associated with the accounting concepts. Pair each item from list A with the items from list B. You just come over here to list B, click into it, click the down arrow, and look for whatever fits here. Maybe I'll throw you one because it's an easy one, expense recognition. We're looking for something that says we recognize our expenses in the accounting period in which we use them and matching our revenues. So let's see, record expense of the period, the related revenues recognized. So that's your expense recognition principle. So that's what you're going to do for all of these. So do that. When you get done and you do this, if I find that students are just doing one, clicking check my work, doing another, clicking check my work, I will restrict your check your work. I get a notification as to how many times a report I can run, as to how many times you check your work. So if you don't want to lose that, I'll call it a privilege. I guess I really hate it when people say that, but if you want to lose that tool of check my work, then don't use it like that. Go through all of these before you check your work once. Once you go through it all, then click check your work, and then it'll tell you it's not complete, but the one I got here was correct. I didn't try to complete it, but the rest you would have done, and then you can go back and fix the ones that you didn't do correctly. Okay, so we're here on problem 12. I did have a little few technical difficulties, so that you probably kind of saw a little weird transition, but I apologize for that. So here we have listed below are the several transactions taking place during the second and third years of the operation of the RPG company. In addition, you learn that the company incurred advertising costs. Just some additional information here about this assignment isn't too daunting to kind of ease you back into financial accounting. If you have any questions, you know where I'm at. Otherwise, you guys have a wonderful day. Good luck on your quiz, and we will see you in chapter 2.